Neal, chair in waiting for the
Ways and Means Committee, yeah.
And who has been really just been a champion on making sure it's been part of the Ways and Means agenda.
Thanks, Rosa, and thanks to our colleagues in the House and the Senate, and thanks to all of you who have been such forceful advocates on behalf of the American family. This indeed is about economic security and what Mr. Roosevelt called to guard against the vicissitudes of life. And I think that security, as highlighted in the previous two speakers, it's addressed by the issue of what happened to labor participation rates during the pandemic. The number of women who had to choose between childcare and their job, those numbers still haven't rebounded. That's a realistic assessment of what happened. I'm going to date myself for a moment, but there's some of you that don't mind that. But I was an original co-sponsor of the original bill 30 years ago and voted for it twice as President H.W. Bush vetoed it twice and was an original when Bill Clinton actually signed the legislation. So I feel some consistency over these years as we've attempted to address many of these economic security issues. The other thing that I would like to point out, because there's a fairly youthful audience here, and I'm delighted by your attendance, but it's also a chance to talk about Social Security and Medicare, too, as part of this. You know, when you consider the achievement of these issues, including paid family leave, you might want to think of it like this. It's a generational connection. We're linked. And for many of you who are younger, the idea is that in our early years, we all pull the wagon because in later years, we might have to sit in the wagon. But that's a part of the American story and the great achievement of what we did. And I also want to take a lot of pride here because I've been a member of the Ways and Means Committee for a long time. And, you know, we got out Build Back Better. It passed the House. So we had that standard achievement that I wished to be able to get over the goal line in the Senate as well. But we have this history of whether it was Social Security or Medicare or family leave or paying for the Civil War and the Lewis and Clark expedition and all those other initiatives. When the moment is in front of us, we not only take advantage of it, we do it. And again, the only committee in all of Congress that got out Bill Clinton's health care plan. Pretty amazing. So we've been pretty consistent. And now, as Rosa noted, I think there's a lot of Republicans that might be willing to vote for this as we go forward because of the lessons of the pandemic. In particular, the number of people who are left behind, and we're still struggling with 10.5 million jobs that are available right now. And I believe that the Fed is going to report that there are even more jobs available right now. So connecting those people to the opportunities who had to leave the workforce over those years should be part of our challenge. It's hard to believe that it's 30 years, but it's this slow advance of social progress and great patience that we undertake. And we've heard all of the arguments, some of them flat and round in the same sentence. But I think slowly Republicans are coming around on paid family leave as a good economic investment because it provides the basic security. And you know, I'll close on this note, because I do think it's a good chance to tickle our friends in the media. In the earliest stages of the pandemic, they, to the almost the person, reported how well the Chinese were doing with managing the pandemic as opposed to America. It didn't turn out that way. We lost 1 million people, but we rebounded much more quickly than any other country on earth. Virtually every job was returned. And now we're asking for the next advance in sound social progress, and it's paid family leave. It's a good investment. And as noted before, the state that has done it, the biggest, where 1 out of 8 people lives, it has high satisfaction ratios. So let's get on with getting this over the goal line. And it's a pleasure to introduce a longtime friend as well in the House. And I think that I'm going to introduce a senator, I'm told. But I could also say a longtime friend of the House.
Right, yes, indeed.
She's an alum of the House of Representatives and indeed an inspiration to all of us every single day. Military credentials and good vision. Tammy Duckworth.
Thank you.